Hey, Kill la Kill, best show ever, right? So, what did you think of the first episode? Something about a school with magic uniforms that make you stronger?
It reminded me a lot of Fooly Cooley and a lot of over-the-top aspects.
Chaotic, stupid. They try to establish some kind of totalitarian fascist society, which is basically a high school, which is also a fortress. Try to start with world building, but come on, in this world, world building.
In this episode, Ryuko gets her battle suit or whatever. Pretty much, when she activates it, it's very revealing, kind of like fan service aspect of it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an armor, yet it doesn't cover anything, so you can be protected.
It's terrible. I mean, it's not erotic, it's not entertaining, it's not funny, it's not armor, it doesn't even look aesthetic in some way.
When I first saw it, I was a little bit more lenient towards it. I thought that, like in Gurren Lagann, where as the story progressed, the mech became larger and bigger, I would expect over time, as she defeated more of people in the school, her uniform would be less revealing and more kind of badass almost.
We don't want the clothes to take over the body or some sort of stupid excuse like that.
We also get to know the new character, Mako, the comic relief.
She's more than a comic relief, she's more like a beacon of hope, where she always jumps in and explains what is good and what is bad, so the dumb audience can understand what is going on.
Her family is more of the comic part.
They're not really that funny, let's be serious.
Oh, so they're all perverts who try to peek on the main character while she's bathing. It's not like those jokes don't get repeated or something, no.
And indirectly, they also represent the common people who don't have any Goku uniforms because they have no ambition and they're not fighting each other for wealth and authority. There was also that rebel who was masquerading as one of the teachers in that school. He was supposed to be there as an info dump character, but he deliberately didn't say anything about what was going on with their uniforms at the beginning of the show. Got to maintain the mystery!
Yeah.
On episode 2, Ryuko is trying to figure out how her uniform is working and she is fighting another club member, and they make it seem like she needs to use strategy in battles in order to defeat her, not just storm in and use raw power.
Tactics. Can I mention how ridiculous those side characters? They're almost one-dimensional characters. The tennis girl and the boxing club guy. Their designs, so ridiculous.
Just the visual design alone, I felt was alright. They put emphasis on their strengths, but my problem is with the supporting characters, the supporting villains, whatever. You know, outside of their episode, they have no development, and they're pretty much just there to, like, be background. Even the Elite Four eventually, after the Elite Four arc, they're pretty much obsolete, and I don't like that personally.
Talking about Zero D characters, they all look the same. They never show the eyes because eyes would kinda add to identity or something like that. It looks so stupid.
I kind of excused it a little bit. I know the reason they all look the same was because budget, etc., but ultimately, I think they were kind of poking fun at the fact that they kind of acknowledged that they were self-aware in that sense. At least there they were self-aware. At some points they're self-aware, but sometimes they're not, and that's where the show's at its weakest point.
I was meant to think that you would be fighting most of the episodes those 2-star Goku uniform students, but turns out that immediately on episode 3, she fights Satsuki, the president of the school, and she gets her own uniform, and Ryuko gets owned. But Satsuki lets her go because she wants to prove to her that her way of thinking is wrong or some shit like that. Although later on they try to make it seem like it was all part of a conspiracy.
Let me guess. On Reddit they call it masterful writing.
Yes, it was all foreshadowed and stuff.
For sure.
They try to make it seem like being naked is some sort of a theme, like it makes you more powerful to be naked, you shouldn't be ashamed of your body and stuff like that. And this is why later on we have those naked people and some other...
The really awkward stuff. But they still don't connect it back to the shame of being naked or in that skimpy dress.
It felt like an excuse for fan service to me. I could just never truly buy into that. What is this trying to do? Is this trying to be a satire? Is this trying to be just over the top and funny? Or is this trying to make me take it seriously? Because right now, it's seeming like it's trying to make me take it seriously, but I simply cannot do that.
And yet people still claim there's almost no fan service in Kill la Kill.
I have never heard that.
Well, technically what they meant is that there is so much fan service that after a while you don't even notice it because it's there all the time.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
well, I still noticed it because it annoyed the fuck out of me.
This is why retro shows are so much better when it comes to fan service. They had so few bits, like once every 5 episodes, and you knew that when this thing was coming, it was good, because it was only once every 5 episodes. Nowadays they do it all the time, like 5 times per episode. Ridiculous. Doesn't mean anything anymore. It lost its meaning. This is why retro beats modern, once again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I count.
Episode 4, Obvious Filler is Obvious. They are rehashing the exact same events in later episodes, and yet they pretend they didn't remember the things that happened in this episode, plus the artwork had a very low budget.
I know this is a filler episode, but I'm going to admit that this was probably my favorite episode in the whole series, just because how fun it was. This is what I came for when I wanted to watch Kill la Kill. I wanted to watch something fun, I wanted to watch something like Gurren Lagann or like Fooly Cooly, and I was hoping that would be almost like episodic after this. Each episode would be another president or whatever, another person that she would have to fight. But I really liked this episode for what it was, even if it was a filler.
And moving to 5, we have the first nudist beach member trying to kill Ryuko because suppose the uniform may take over her body or something like that. And we have this big fast battle going on left and right, but the uniform, I don't know when this happened. Ryuko and her uniform are now bodies all of a sudden, and for that reason, he spares both of them and goes away. So we had like a pointless battle. This whole episode was just introducing a guy who's running around naked, blew up, and then he goes away because, she's not possessed. But what does it mean? You have to wait for her to be possessed? Why the hell were you there anyways?
I thought that the nudist beach guy was kind of cool at first. He was throwing around one-liners like, it's no big deal. But then as the show went along, they lose their presence so much and they become less and less impactful and interesting. Like, they have no relevance later on.
They wasted their time on those characters. It goes without mentioning that when they still have clothes on them, you can take them serious. But then later on in the show, when they get rid of clothes, I wish I could have laughed about it, but no.
Episode 6. Ryuko now challenges to battle one of the 3 Goku uniform members, one of the 4 elites.
I really did not like this episode at all because it kind of ruined the whole Ryuko climbs up the ladder and slowly fights stronger and stronger opponents. Here she takes on one of the Elite Four, like one of the strongest members, and she just beats him fairly easily. Like, this shouldn't be happening. This should be either way later in the show, or she should be having way more trouble fighting this guy.
This episode attempted to give a backdrop story to this Uzu, one of the Elite Four, but it doesn't really matter in the long run, does it now? It seems like he was planning to backstab Satsuki later on. He never did that. They never exactly returned back to the whole issue of him trying to beat her.
He showed so much potential as a character. Like, he always wanted to get back, but that never happened later on. Like, in the Elite Four arc, their battle got interrupted, and then they just never fought each other ever again. I was a little bit hyped for that, and it was anticlimactic as all hell. That's all I have to say about it.
Episode 7. The Fight Club.
I felt like this episode was a filler too.
Not really. It's more like this episode is the only one which focuses on Mako. It's like Mako's episode. And other than that, they're trying to build up their strength by making their own club and saying, hey, we can get easier to the top and fight Satsuki if you just make your own club and fight all the other club members in an easier way. They are also trying to show how too much power corrupts you, and this is why Mako's family become rich and uncaring. But the whole issue is resolved in the same episode, so it ends almost with a reset.
It is a reset. There's nothing added to it. I mean, Mako get character development. Maybe like a hint of it. Other than that, nothing. I mean, okay, it gets established that she can wear a uniform, and it gets used later on, but nothing. They could have left this episode out.
Before this episode was being released, Trigger on Twitter, etc., they were hyping this episode up to be like the dark episode of Kill la Kill, like way darker than the rest. This is where Kill la Kill was going to get dark. This is like where Kamina dies in Kill la Kill. That's what everyone thought this episode was going to be, and then it was just like, oh, it's another filler.
Don't trust the previews.
Mako, she was wearing sunglasses. There's like a reflection on them, and if you flip it over, it says, I die 21 or something like that. And foreshadowed she was going to die in episode 21, which never happened. I like that one.
So much for the amazing foreshadowing. Episode 8, they have these elections to decide who's going to be the new Elite Four, and turns out that the same 4 still keep the same position, so this whole election business was pointless.
Natural's election, the play on natural selection, and I guess on Reddit they overhyped this to be Darwin's successor or something. Social Darwinism and stuff. Why do you even pick this up in this kind of show?
And after that we have the tournament with the Elite Four, and I guess the battles were fun, and they try to give some backdrop stories to the other 3 of the Elite Four, but it doesn't really mean anything. Again, they just throw it in and it doesn't mean anything after a while.
Their backstories are so poorly handled, like 2 lines or like barely anything. Like one of them was less than half an episode. Like, how am I supposed to care about these characters?
Yeah, the character fleshing out never happened. Development didn't even happen either.
Anyways, these battles go on up until episode 11, where this new girl appears out of nowhere called Nui. She's overpowered, like without even wearing a uniform, she takes out one of the Elite Four, and this was a complete lack of foreshadowing.
She just jumps out of nowhere, beats one of the Elite Four. I killed your dad, I'm the bad guy. There wasn't even like a hint of foreshadowing to this.
And her character design is just god-awful.
From the best characters in the show to the worst character ever. I just want to shoot her with her annoying Moe voice and character design.
This was what changed it from, this show's kind of enjoyable, it's above average, I guess, to this show is bad.
Episode 12, we get the stumble of all fighting shonen, the hidden evil side of the protagonist. So yeah, Ryuko gets out of control until Mako saves her.
They never came back to this concept of the uniform being able to completely take over you if you overuse it. This was like a one-time thing. This should happen again sometime in the future. Should at least like start to happen and then they stop it.
They pretty much use everything in the show once, and then they pretend, oh, this doesn't count, we're just gonna throw in something else, and it's not supposed to contradict the previous one, but it does. And on the next episode, it is revealed that Satsuki made the elections only as a conspiracy. She just wanted to gather information on how to make even stronger uniforms, so she can go around Japan conquering other schools, as if the schools in this show are like military bases or whatever. But as we're gonna find out soon enough, the Elite Four went there without having new uniforms and they still took over the schools without new powers, so why did she need to gather information in the first place? There is also this case where Ryuko doesn't want to wear Zangetsu because she's afraid that she'll be possessed once again, but as soon as that news reporter appears, she immediately forgets everything else and she wears the uniform once again, and then it's revealed that, I'm not really a news reporter, I'm that stupid lolly. I saw on Reddit how they said, this was amazingly foreshadowed. You know what was amazingly foreshadowed? His first appearance was popping out of the girl's bathroom. So, so it was Nui. What? That was foreshadowing?
Episode 4, the same thing literally happened.
Also, Nui never uses this power to transform to other people ever again.
Let me think. I don't think so. No.
She never uses again puppets to control other people or whatever. Ryuko tries to fight Nui, but okay, because she's still too overpowered, she loses to her, and her uniform gets torn to pieces, which are then stolen by Satsuki, and are engraved on some nobody's uniforms to become even stronger when they're going to attack the other schools. We get Ryuko trying to get all the pieces of her uniform back. She steals this Vespa, and she goes from one city to another in like 3 minutes, and manages to steal all the pieces from super powerful minions who are wearing the uniform. So how could she do that? Nobody could stop her. What's going on here? Come on, it's just a girl in a Vespa. She doesn't have a uniform. Why can't anyone stop her?
I would honestly say her design when she was on the Vespa looked kind of badass. Yeah. She legitimately looked cool. She like beat everyone in almost one shot. Okay, that was silly, but it still looked cool.
And then it is revealed that Satsuki didn't make this war to take over other schools, but because she wanted to
lure out the nudists, which had their base under a city. And of course, foreshadowing. Let me guess, it was another master stroke of writing Hails on Reddit.
They never even said that they were in that city. I mean, like, I remember there was a scene when they were talking in a bar. If in that scene they'd said that their base was in that city, I would understand. Like, they had opportunities to slip that in, like that little bit of foreshadowing, but they never ended up doing it, and I think it's little things like this which add up to make this show bad.
Episode 16, Ragyo revealed the whole thing about the life fibers. Clothes gave people brains.
Incredibly stupid. The clothes are the bad guys. They like the Illuminati of this world. Holy shit! But
my problem with this part in general is that the show tried to make you take it seriously. It wasn't just trying to be silly or stupid. It was trying to be serious. I thought that was incredibly stupid. They should not have gone in that direction at all. They already established that this show was going to be taken seriously, and then they do the stupid thing and they try to make you take it seriously, but you just can't because of just how over the top and silly it is.
And now we get some wonderful character inconsistency. Now Ryuko again refuses to wear Zangetsu because he will kill more members of his kind, and that's pretty much it. And then we have that other guy, Tsumugu from Nudist Beach. He now wants to fight Ryuko because she doesn't want to wear the clothes, but the first time he wanted to kill her because she was wearing the clothes.
The situation is resolved really quick and we get nothing of it. It was just to get you hyped for the next episode and they never go back on it. And of course, character development for this Tsumugu guy, no, doesn't happen. Fuck that character development.
When I saw this complete 180-degree turn, I'm like, holy crap, this show has more characters that turn completely 180 than Code Geass. He's completely different. It's like it's a completely different character altogether. Really, really dislike this complete change of character design. I liked him at first. I thought he was kind of cool.
Episode 17. The clothes take over the people at the school. Ryuko arrives there after all the people have been taken over by their clothes, and she doesn't even mind that much. Whereas if you think about it, if she arrived there 5 minutes earlier, she could have prevented that from ever happening, but she was too busy crying and grooming over not wearing her uniform once again. So it's like, because you were late and you couldn't make up your mind if you wanted to do something, now all these people could be eaten alive or something, but she never exactly says, oh dear.
Do you think that Rukia actually cares about any of the zero-dimensional characters? They get thrown around so much throughout the series, I don't think anyone gives a shit about them. Whether they're being eaten by clove aliens or just dying, whatever, no one gives a shit.
Ryuko is gonna fight Ragyo or something, but no, Satsuki actually betrays her mother and stabs her in the back because that was actually part of her plan. Oh, you didn't see this coming, right? Although it was so well foreshadowed and shit. Episode 18, Ragyo fights back and hell breaks loose. It is also revealed that Ryuko is her lost daughter and that she's made out of life fibers and that she has fast regeneration, although she never had that power in previous episodes. Foreshadowed my ass. But they keep on saying it was foreshadowed because their names are similar. And in the first episode, when Ryuko goes to the school for the first time, we hear 5 seconds of Ragyo's theme playing as music in the background. Oh yeah, this is definitely foreshadowing now, right?
People who defend Kill la Kill overthink it so much. Like, oh my god. Based on their character designs, you could kind of like, they're similar. But you would never think like this blatantly, oh, they're sisters. You would have never thought that. I think it's just silly. So on the bed, she was healing very, very slowly, but now she healed almost instantly. And this is inconsistency at its best.
Episode 19. We actually have a time skip here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Clothes are taking over Japan, but nobody in the rest of the world notices that because they also have control of mass media. And Ryuko is still in a coma, she doesn't wake up for a long time, and Satsuki is being molested by her own mother. So much for that female empowerment theme. Ragyo wasn't evil enough. We need to make her completely evil by showing her molesting her own daughters. And it's never really explained why she keeps them alive. She could have easily killed them, but no, she just keeps them around because, duh.
Now, she likes to toy with them because she's evil. What kind of a villain doesn't like to toy with their enemies?
Of course. What kind of one-dimensional villain would she be if she wasn't doing that? So the Elite Four have now also joined the nudist beach, and they're also naked because, well, they also accept that uniforms are evil. They want to take over the world. But later on, when they create new uniforms, they wear them immediately, and they fight with them. So what's the whole point of saying you're part of nudist beach if you still use clothes?
Whatever floats your crazy, crazy boat.
Yeah. And all this time Mako was captured by one of those clothes. But in just one episode, they free her. And so what's the point? Try to make it first like it's tragic and then it's like nothing matters.
Again, try to force some drama and... So then Ryuko wakes up from her coma. And you think she would want to reunite with Senketsu. But fuck that. Because logic, I don't know which logic, but some logic, she now hates herself and all clothes equally. And she refuses to put her established friend on.
She is extremely just angry for no reason. It's like Eren in Attack on Titan. I really don't like her character because of that aspect. Like, a lot of the time she's just screaming and angry for very little reason.
I'm a monster! Plot point. I mean, we had this in Valvrave and it was terrible. We had this in many other shows and it was terrible. It's just stupid and forced drama and it doesn't lead to anywhere, I guess.
Definitely.
So, that was the third time she refuses to wear the uniform and she thinks she can actually take on all the evil women without her uniform. So in episode 20, she goes there and pretty much gets captured by the enemy. Ragyo has this amazing idea. You know what? We're gonna make her wear Zunketsu, the white uniform, instead of Senketsu. It's like, and we're gonna rewrite her memories so she'll think she's one of us and shit. So we have this bullshit situation where now the two sisters are wearing the reverse uniforms and they're fighting each other for the exactly opposite reasons they had the first time. It can't get more two-dimensional than this. And you're not gonna ask yourselves, why didn't Ragyo brainwash Satsuki as well? I mean, she was right there all this time, and besides molesting her, shouldn't you be like brainwashing her all this time? And why was she supposed to be wearing Zunketsu and not Senketsu? Well, what the fuck is going on here? Not to mention how easily Satsuki escaped her prison because she polished her toenail.
Those toenails must be made of steel.
We have another battle where the two sisters are fighting each other because Ryuko is possessed and has different memories, yada yada yada, nonsense this and nonsense that. And yeah, once again Mako comes to the rescue because yeah, she's like the anchor of morality and sense and happiness and rainbows and unicorns and bullshit. She takes away the bad memories, she returns them back to normal, they switch back to their normal uniforms, and we are heading for the last attack, which are the last episodes. And I'm lost track of which episode we're supposed to be, it's just, let's say, the last battle. At one point, Nui, that stupid loli, had her arms cut off. So Ragyo gives her this new power-up, but she can actually regenerate her hands. But notice that her eye never regenerated. Why?
Because eye patch fetishes.
Oh, I'm getting Chunibyo vibes here.
Okay, and then we have this final battle, which it's so convoluted, I cannot even explain it. Ryuko just absorbs everybody's uniforms, and she becomes a Super Saiyan uniform half-breed something.
They go into space to have their Super Saiyan battle.
The whole Earth is by now covered in red clothes and fibers and shit, and this was a direct reference to the end of Neon Genesis.
Yeah, they had a lot of references in that final battle. Do you remember when Mako was on like the battleship? There was like a Yamato reference there. The references are nice, but like if this was just a satire, funny, silly show, this would have been fun. I would have liked this. But no, it's trying to take this in a serious way. If this wouldn't have been there, this would have been a fun, nice show. I like the little references and the hints here and there.
Senketsu dies.
Oh yeah,
Because
I forgot.
fuck off. The ending of the final battle was so anticlimactic. She wins and everything gets reverted back to normal, and then suddenly Senketsu starts disintegrating, and yeah, Ryuko starts falling to earth, and
I can't believe that's it. She was falling to earth and Zengetsu protected her from being burning in the atmosphere, and everybody else in the ground just being naked, tried to capture her. We had like a mountain of naked people being used as a caution for her to follow them. This wouldn't happen, you know, she would still be splattered all over the place.
When all of the other, like, the one-dimensional characters were falling from the sky from the strings, they fell down. They weren't injured. They didn't go splat. But when Ryuko falls down, of course, she has to sacrifice Senketsu because drama, why not? They could have killed him off in a cooler way, like during the battle he could have sacrificed himself or something. They could have done something. I mean, come on. There's a better way to do this.
Say, did you notice that nobody actually died from the good guys?
No, only Senketsu.
yeah.
Remember in the first episode, one of the zero-dimensional characters got crucified. So it wasn't just Senketsu, it was Senketsu and one of the zero-dimensional characters.
Yeah, of course.
The globe actually being enveloped by this stuff, life fiber stuff. And later we don't get to see the impact. I mean, the revelation that clothes ruled humanity and made humanity evolve, nothing comes out of it. Stuff just happens as ever before.
Yeah, the epilogue, it just leaves Earth as it was before. No changes were actually made. And it just says the two heroines are now normal girls who will need to leave behind their school uniforms because now they're what? They graduated and shit. Now they have to become what? Normal. And out of nowhere, Mako wants to become a lesbian?
Yeah, are they really going there? Lesbians? Now? I mean, nothing against lesbians. I'll take lesbians any day. But, come on.
No foreshadowing.
Final words? Anyone?
It was fun. I liked it for the references. I still give it a 7 out of 10 for the nostalgia factor and the crazy stuff happening, but saying it's an amazing show now.
It was a big clustered mess on the same level as Mirai Nikki and whatnot. I give it a 4 out of 10. It was bad. I would not recommend it to anyone. Gurren Lagann was so fun, so over the top, so crazy, but it had consistency. The plot made sense. Everything that was supposed to be foreshadowed was foreshadowed. It did everything right. In Gurren Lagann, like, the characters were manly. Like, there was some fan service, but it wasn't on the same level as Kill la Kill. You watched Gurren Lagann not for the fan service. You watched it for the manliness. You watched Kill la Kill for fan service. That's the only reason to watch it. There's like no good content in it.
It failed horribly at everything it tried to do, but of course if you shoehorn some references and some action and tits, it keeps the masses entertained, but I didn't gain anything from this. Nothing. I give this show 2 out of 10.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So guys, any last words before I stop the recording?
I personally thought it was a little bit overrated. I felt that the animation was inconsistent as well as the storytelling. As a whole, the best way to describe the show is genuinely inconsistent. One second it was over the top, and then next it tried to be satirical, the next it tried to be serious, and there wasn't really like a clear thing it was going for.
So this is the anime that was supposed to save anime. I think it needs more saving than ever before.